What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be something that's been developing and I've been noticing that has been happening. So, we have a situation where you have foreign entities maybe colluding with each other to form a new currency. So let's get into this because this is actually quite unique. So let's get into this. Let me share my screen and I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be looking at today. So Russia and China are brewing up a challenge to dollar dominance by creating a new reserve currency. So you have China and Russia coming in contact with each other to create a new currency. Okay, so let's get into this. Russia is ready to develop a new global reserve currency alongside China and other BRICS nations to in a potential challenge to the dominance of the US dollar. Vladimir President Vladimir Putin signals the new reserve currency would be based on a market of currencies from the group's members: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The matter of creating a new international reserve currency based on a basket of currencies of our countries is under review. Putin told the BRICS Business Forum on Wednesday, according to a TASS report. We are ready to openly work on with all fair partners. The dollar has long been seen as the world's reserve currency, but its dominance is shared is in a share of international currency reserves is waning, meaning is losing its value. Central banks are looking to divide their holdings into currencies like the yuan and as well as into non-traditional areas like the South like the Swedish krona in the South Korean won, according to the International Monetary Fund. This is a move to address the preceding U.S. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Okay, this is a move to address the preceding U.S. homogeny of the IMF. Okay, X. Hold on. ING's global head of markets, Chris Tucker, Chris Turner. Damn, I said Tucker. Said in a note, it will allow BRICS to build their own sphere of influence and unit of currency within that sphere. Russia's move comes after Western sanctions imposed over the Ukrainian war all all but cut the country out of global financial systems, curtailing access to its dollars and putting pressure on its economy. Oh, so this is a back. See, this is why I say the U.S. needs to stay the fuck out of foreign affairs. This is the exact reason right here. This is a this is a retaliation for the U.S. putting sanctions on Russia, which basically excluded their dollars that they held in their national bank. This is what this is for, because the U.S. put his nose and 2 cents into a Russia and Ukrainian conflict that has been brewing for at least a decade or 2 decades. This has been that Russian and Ukrainian war that's been brewing since the fall of the Soviet Union. That's what that's about. We stuck our noses into some shit that we shouldn't have stuck our nose into. And also, there's another reason why Russia retaliated. Russia was fine with Ukraine being its own sovereign nation, but the US and NATO was basically pushing up on Russian borders. That is what Russia is trying to do. Create a buffer zone so that the US and NATO countries do not have any backdoor access into Russian borders. That is the reason why this shit's going on. With which the Western nations and its allies sanctioned Russia's FX reserves, freezing around half, no doubt shocked the Russian authorities. The central bank of Russia effectively admitted as much as no doubt some BRICS nations, especially China, took a notice of speed and stealth of which the U.S. Treasury moved. He added, those sanctions have likely encouraged Moscow and Beijing to work on an alternative to the IMF's international reserve asset, the special drawings rights Turner suggested, which is not a reserve currency. The SDR is based on a basket of currencies made up of the U.S. dollar, the euro, the British pound, and the Japanese yen, as well as the Chinese yuan. One possibility is that the BRICS basket currency could attract the reserves, not just of a group's members, but also countries already in their range of influence. He suggested this includes nations in South Asia and Middle East. Russia has seen its currency, the ruble, rebound to above its pre-war level, thanks to the central bank support. After it plummeted 70% in less than 2 weeks after the Ukraine invasion, it has risen to 15.2 in June to $1.87. Meanwhile, the yuan has said steadily around 15 cents over the same time period. So this is based upon the U.S. The U.S. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't blame them not a bit. I do not blame them not one bit, because this effectively hurt their economies after Russia invaded Ukraine. 2 weeks, it lost 70% of its value in 2 weeks. And the way that the U.S. Department Treasury acted and moved, that was a concern for them as well. So I don't see the problem with why they're doing what they're doing. I would do the same shit if I was Putin. But this is all stemming from the U.S. being the global police of the world. NATO was pushing into Ukraine. There was a decree. There was a certain decree that was placed in the agreement that Ukraine would stay a sovereign nation. There was a decree. There was a decree or there was something in place that Russia had specifically for Ukraine to remain a sovereign nation. Do not join. Do not become a NATO country. That is basically what was put in there. Now, Russia has seen countries come in and have joined NATO. So Ukraine was the last push that Russia had, and Russia said, "Fuck that! You're not coming in my borders." That's basically what's going on. You have literally put at this point a literal country at the border of Russia. You have made that country a buffer zone because NATO kept trying to get Ukraine to become a NATO nation. That's the reason why all this shit is going on in Ukraine right now. President Zelensky in Ukraine tried to join NATO, and he didn't even know that he wasn't supposed to join NATO because that would have caused the retaliation that we're seeing now with Russia. I don't blame Putin for what's going on now. I do blame him for antagonizing the war. I do blame him for that. But also, I do blame him for not having talks with the U.S. and which I'll never mind because we're holding the whole laissez-faire thing. Not laissez-faire. Carry a big stick. Carry a soft voice and a big stick. That shit. Yeah, we're on that. So I'm not even gonna say that. But this is a retaliation of what's been going on in the U.S. This is retaliation of Russia and Ukraine. So at this point, the U.S. influence around the world has been a bad taste. And there's another thing that I got to talk about as well. But anyways, like, share, subscribe to the channel, support the podcast on Spotify.com, and I'll see you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys for listening, and I will see you later. Thank you guys. Bye.